Hi, besties. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm so excited about this episode. But before I dive in, one of the first things that I want to talk about is that we are officially past 60 days into the year. We're pushing, I think it's like 65-ish now. I don't know what it is. But this whole season is about doing more in 90 days than you do all of last year, basically. And the thing about that is that we still have a month left. And most people are going to hear this and be like, oh, shit, that's not time to do any blah, blah, blah. No, a month is actually so much time. And if you want your rest of your 2026 to be big, right? And there's always buildup, there's always momentum, there's always ebbs and flows. But if you really want 2026 to be the year that you build the life that you are really wanting, and you don't want to dawdle anymore, you don't want to wait around, you don't want to keep guessing, I'm going to push you right now, not just lovingly invite you, I'm pushing you to join Fiera. Because literally, even sitting on this call right now, let me say this. Inside Fiera, one thing that we have across all tiers is we have this co-working link that is available 24/7. There's always girls on there working, cooking, at the gym, like doing their thing. And I literally just got a message from someone who she set a goal of paying off all of her debt. And I don't think she thought it was possible, to be honest. It was like a big, huge push goal. And she just messaged that she paid off her entire loan. Like it's all, her debt's gone. And that's crazy. Crazy. And that's just the first 60 days. And that's something that she thought was going to take so long. So it's like you can do so much in such little time, but you have to enter the room to be able to do that, right? If you don't know how to do that right now, you don't know how to actually make that happen. You don't know how to fully follow through. You don't know how to stop pulling back as soon as you don't feel like things are working. Like, get in Fiera. Stop messing around with it. Get in and big things are going to happen. Like, I get messages all the time from girls all across the world, like truly all across the world, being like, I wish I joined sooner. And oh my God, I can't believe how good it is in here. And holy shit, like this is the best room ever. I've made so many friends. I love being in here. My life is so different, but I want that message from you. You hear what I'm saying? Okay, let's get into it. Today's episode is all about how a lot of us aren't playing to win. We're just playing to not lose. I have a whole course inside Fiera Tier 2, Tier 3 on how to stop playing to not lose versus playing to win and how they're different. I'm not going to go into that. But besties, we got to play to win. Like win. I want you to be a winner. And I remember a few episodes ago, I told you guys how each of us is going to have a bit of a different battle, a stronger pattern, more kryptonite with one episode versus another. This is another episode for you that I actively have to work on. She ain't natural for me. But today's episode is a concept I talk about inside Fiera all the time, which is the half-court shot. And I'm going to explain it to you a little bit deeper in the episode. But what I want you to know is that the way we approach taking risk and going after big things and doing more in 12 weeks than 12 months, we got it all wrong, like completely. We got it backwards, besties. What I want you to do is bring to mind the really big, like, no way it happens, that's too out there, I'm not the kind of person who can do that kind of thing. Bring that to mind right now. Like, this is an activity. You're with me now, okay? So it's things like thinking that you'll meet the person of your dreams and instantly be head over heels and everything's just going to click, right? A lot of us don't think that can happen to us. Or getting invited to the brand event with the company that you've been using for years, or making $1 million in your business, getting asked to speak at your dream opportunity, getting to move abroad to your dream country for the summer. Like when we think about these big things, so often we really want them and we have so much desire wrapped in them, but there's a part of us who just kind of brushes it off because they feel too big. They feel too out there. We assume that it's something that we'll do way down in the line in the future, or we assume they're for other people. And I actually want to say this, and I wasn't going to, but I'm going to because I actually think it's good for people to hear. All those things I just said, which is meeting the person of your dreams and it just clicking that night, or getting invited to the brand event with the company you've been using for years, making $1 million, getting asked to speak at a dream opportunity, getting to move abroad to your dream country for the summer, all of those things that I just said, I have been so blessed to be able to do, or I'm about to do. I knew 20 minutes into my first date that I was in deep trouble. I literally, it's so fun. I'll just tell the story. I almost skipped the date with my now boyfriend because I was so into him when we were texting the whole time, and we met on a dating app. And then the day of the day, I was just not feeling it and I was over it. And my sister made me go. She was like, get out of my house and just go on this stupid date. You're annoying me. And 20 minutes in, I literally texted her in all caps. I'm like, I'm in so much trouble. Like, I just knew that boy was coming with me places in life, okay? And I've done the brand event. I've done the $1 million. I've got a speaking event coming up that I'm so honored to be able to speak at. We're moving abroad this summer, which I'm keeping that location a secret for now, okay? But you can catch me at the end of May. But I was the girl who was small, who felt so unsure and insecure and so frustratingly badly wanted big things, but I never saw myself doing them. And even if I allowed myself to see myself doing them, it was so far off in the future that I didn't even really associate with them. I'd look at things like this and think it was a far shot, that I just wasn't going to get these sort of things in life. For a lot of years, I thought that. And just to show you an example and really dig it in, and when I was thinking about talking about this, I was kind of like, how did I even think, like, how was I even that girl? How did I even think that way? But I did for so many years of my life. But my old relationships are a perfect example in this. I stayed in my prior relationship about 2.5 years too long. And he wasn't a bad person necessarily, but we were very bad together, very unhealthy for each other. But I stayed because I had talked myself into thinking it wasn't that bad. And everyone around me was always busy telling me how great he was. My parents, my friends, people who just met us. So I developed the idea that this was as good as it got. And it wasn't all bad, but to be in that relationship required me to stay very small, walk on eggshells, abandon certain parts of myself. And I came with my own problems too. And I figured for a really long time, I was like, I'm just not a relationship person. I'm just not someone who's like super lovey, and that's just not me. But the truth is I literally didn't even want to spend time with him a lot of the time. And it's awful to say, but I just thought that was normal. I didn't think I would ever get a relationship where I was obsessed and wanted to do everything with them. And that was like my best friend. And I thought they were the coolest person on earth because I thought the relationship where I actually liked being alone more was what I got. I didn't think I'd find someone who wasn't threatened by me, who pushed me, who had so many of the same values. And saying it now, maybe it's because I'm 29 and I was young before, but saying it now, this seems so obvious. Like this feels like obvious, stupid information for me to say. Like I'm like, why would you even like? I can't fathom how I thought that, but it's crazy what we'll buy into. And I had bought into the idea for so long that I just wasn't, I wasn't a relationship person and this is as good as it got. And it's not like I was sitting there pining for some dream relationship that I now actually have. I wasn't even thinking about the kinds of relationship that I have now because I had decided so quickly and early on that it just wasn't really for me, that it wasn't available to me, that I wasn't the kind of person who was ever going to find that I wasn't good enough, that I didn't have that. But we settle. We have self-doubt that we treat as total, utter truth to the degree that we don't even question it. And we start normalizing that and we stop thinking bigger and we start thinking that the really big things we want, if you even let yourself admit it, is far down the line. And it's even so funny. I have little videos of me as a very small girl, probably like 5-ish years old, where I'm just putting on these necklaces and I got a microphone. I was the star of everything. Like I think it was one of my grandmas, she called me Miss Management because I was so bossy and I wanted to be the star. And it's just like I wanted to be big. I wanted to be center of attention and all of these things. And not because I like was actually center of attention, just more of like I loved to perform and make people smile and make people feel good. And then for so many years of my life, I just like suppressed that down. And I remember being like 19 and thinking, wow, it'd be so cool to be on YouTube, and suppressing that down again. And I didn't do anything of the sort. I mean, yes, I started my business and yes, I started posting online, but I don't even feel like I really let myself own that I wanted more of a personal brand until it was like early 2025. We have no idea how much we actually suppress our desires and our ability to go after them because of that line of thinking. Anyway, I'm very off track. But we see big things and we think they're for other people, or we think about the odds, the probability of us being able to succeed, which I talked about on, I think it was the last episode. But here's what I need you to understand. I need you to understand this, bestie. When I was 23, I was praying to just wake up and feel excited about my life again. And if someone came and asked me at 23 when I was just praying for those things, if someone asked, do you think you have what it takes to start a business, become a full-time content creator, earn $1 million, get to fly to Italy with your team, have clients from around the world all meet up with you in Bali, get invited to speak on stages in front of hundreds of people, hire your family, I would have told you back then that you got the wrong girl. But that's just the thing. It did all happen. And now there's bigger things that if I didn't know any better, but thank God that I do, I'd say the same thing. I'd be like, you got the wrong girl. But we never know what's going to happen. We'll never know if we can. The odds were never stacked in my favor for any of this. The insecure, invisible girl from the small town who struggled with eating disorders and self-harm and depression since before she was even a teenager goes on to help women around the world build confidence in the lives they want. And that sounds really, really sexy and like a great story. But like I just feel normal on an average day. And I don't think it's all these things. And I still have those same insecurities in a lot of different ways. They're lesser, but they still come up now. There's still ways that I underestimate myself. And that's one of the things I'm even working on this year is don't underestimate yourself. Like, don't do that. Let's just see what happens, how good it can get. But when we think about the big things, this is how we think. We measure the odds. And the sad part is often if the probability is lower than like 20% that we'll get something, which the big things in life are always lower than 20%, we just won't go for it. Sometimes people need like a 50% chance they'll get something to even go for, or even higher. I mean, I want you to actually think about this. It costs no money to apply to most of your dream jobs, right? It's free. Unless it's like, okay, you have to go get a degree to be a lawyer. Like obviously there's those things, but like to apply to a different job if you're already in a job in the workforce, it's pretty much free to apply to a job. It costs nothing. There's zero risk. To network your way into a new job takes nothing of you except a little time. Zero risk in sending a DM to people within that company, or at LinkedIn, not DM necessarily, but expressing your interest and opening up your odds, right? It costs no money to get your dream job. But so often, I will talk to women who will not even apply to a random higher paying job because they've already decided they won't get it, or the resume or job application says they want someone more experienced. You've just already decided that you'll fail. And that's what we do. And don't be, for my entrepreneur girlies, don't be looking and be like, well, that's the corporate girls. No, bish, you do it too. But it's like, for me, like I see that and it's like, my God, take the shot, try, go after it. And I promise you, this episode is just as much for me as it is for the next girl. But it's like, take the shot. And maybe those examples feel less relevant. Let's get more specific. So as we talked about the last episode, and I need you to go listen to the last episode if you haven't yet, most people listening will fall into the category of disciplined enough to have started the brand or start a business or start going to the gym, but it's all very flimsy and it's self-doubt coded, or you're disciplined in one area, but not all the areas. So for those girls, what happens more often is that you want the big things enough to try, right? You might not be like the old me who wouldn't try it all and wouldn't admit and didn't even know reality was available to her. You want the big things enough to try. You've consumed enough self-help to get on the path to pursue what you want, but you're still playing to not lose. You are playing to not lose, which is not the same as winning. And I love you, but get in Fiera if you want the entire course on this topic and come be coached on it because we ain't doing it here. The honest truth, and I can say this about myself as well, I am there with you for so many different stages of my own journey, is that a lot of us aren't actually going all in. Most of our efforts are unfortunately being allocated towards trying to hedge against failure and shame and making sure people don't judge us, make sure no one sees us failing, making sure people can't tell that we're not hitting our goals, trying to seem more successful and happy than we are, worrying behind the scenes when we're alone that we'll never have the life that we really want, getting so swept up in all this busy work that literally does not create the life that you want, right? Like, do you get that? You're on the court, but you're not making any meaningful shots. And I've said this before for anyone who is new to my world. My clients know this, but my boyfriend played basketball professionally, and all my pep talks that I get from him are through basketball references. So now everyone in my world has to suffer through that too. This episode's no different. So when I say you're on the court, I mean like you are on the basketball court, but you're not taking the meaningful shots, and you're playing the whole game, not like you're trying to win. You're just trying to not lose, okay? Now let's actually talk about the half-court shot itself. Literally taking a shot into the hoop from the half-court line. I can't do it, let's just say that. And if you ever want to get the ick with me, just try to watch me throw a basketball. It's very sad. But every time you put me on a court, I'm going to try and take the half-court shot. And I miss it every time. It's bad, off, zero chance every single time, but I still take it. Because I have nothing to lose. It's fun. It's for the plot. Why not? But if we apply this to starting a business, a brand, running a half marathon, moving abroad, whatever, do you carry that mentality with you that you have nothing to lose, that it's fun, it's for the plot? Why not? Why not try? Most people don't. We start thinking about what we have to lose. What if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I lose my savings, my relationship, my whatever? You won't. Oh my God, this one kills me. People tell me all the time, they're like, what if I waste my time? What if I try all this and I waste all my time? I promise you, if you have that thought, you disrespect your time so disgustingly already. And if you do, just go get my anti-quitter mini course. It's $47. I'll literally put it in the show notes. It would save you years that you currently waste of your own time. But people worry about that, right? But people pull back from launches within their business for this reason, this fear. People pull back from dating for this reason. People pull back from raising their hand for opportunities for this reason. People don't put themselves out there for this reason. Don't push the content they really want for this reason. It's so human, but it doesn't have to be how we move. Because this is the crux of the episode. This is the truth. Even if there's a 0% chance of you getting what you want, just like there's a 0% chance, it feels like, for me to take that half-court shot. If there's a 0% chance of you landing that job or earning the kinds of money that you want, a 0% chance of being able to live the lifestyle where you can never really have to think about money, where you have options, where everything's available to you, you're just living that good life. I'm just going to say it here. I literally just bought my boyfriend a $2,000 piece of vintage art that he's been eyeing, and I know he's been eyeing. And that's something that I never would have done in the past and prior, or even liked my boyfriend enough to want to get him this. But it's like, that's the reality that I can have now. So anyway, I got off track. I just want you to be able to see that that's a reality you could have too. But anyway, if you think there's 0% chance of you having that kind of life, even if it's a 0% chance, you need to take the shot. Because so long as that basketball stays in your hands, your chance stays 0. But as soon as that basketball leaves your hands, goes into the air, flies towards the hoop, your odds instantly just improved. It is the same in life. You will never get the job you refuse to apply to. You will never get the level of income if you won't fully commit in business. You will never have what you want if you keep letting fear keep you small and pulling back from the chances you do have in this life. So take the shot. Your odds instantly improve. And if you are ready to go all in on learning how to play to win rather than just playing to not lose all the time, which I think you saw in this episode you might be doing, join Fiera. Up until now, I haven't really spoken much about the tiers. There's 3 tiers inside Fiera, and that's fine. We don't really need to get into it here, but often people just join the first tier and go up from there. But today, what I will say is that if you want to start and blow up your brand, your business, your body, your bank account, you want to move abroad, you want to pay off the debt, you want to land the huge job, you just want to go after those big things, and you want to stop having it take forever. Like, you want the results fast and you want to be pushed really hard. You want to be in a room where your standards rise because that's what's normalized in the room and you want to rise to it and it feels fun and you love being disciplined now because you see what it builds for you. You want to become that person who just fully sends it towards what she wants. Consider joining tier 2 of Fiera instead. This is where you get coached by me every single week on calls in the community. You get access to every course I've ever made. It's over 100, it's well over 100. It's probably closer to 200. It's well over, I'll say though, to be safe, well over 100 hours of me coaching and speaking to you. It's insane. It's only $397 a month, which I know is a lot. That's a big chunk of money, right? But I swear to you, every person who gets inside is like, I can't believe you don't charge triple this to be in this room. So it's $397 a month, and you get in a room where people see the results that you've been craving within weeks. Because the conversations are that good, the courses are that good, the power of being in the community is that good, the coaching is that good. So stop hoping that you eventually get what you want and start being the person who fully commits to playing to win, going after it and taking every shot you got within tier 2. I will catch you guys in the next episode. As usual, if you love this, take a screenshot, put it on your stories, make it a cute aesthetic photo, tag me, do what you gotta do. I would love it. It means the world to me. It also just helps to see that you guys are loving it and to see what topics you guys are wanting. Come DM me. We can talk about it. I'm happy to see what can help you guys even further. I love you guys. Thank you for being here, and I'll catch you next week.